The array subscript operator is really very simple. Let's take a look. We'll make a working copy of working.c and paste it into our working project and open it up in the editor here. I'm going to start by defining an array, and we'll make an array of ints because that seems pretty easy to do. And I'll just put some values in here. And then I'm just going to replace this with a printf here. And we'll go ahead and we'll put in, say, IA sub 0. And so that's the subscript operator right there. The square brackets and the digit inside is the subscript. And so, like so many things in C, it's normally written this way with no spaces, but you could put all these spaces around it and it would still do exactly what it's supposed to do. So I'll just save this and run it. And you can see it says value is 1, which is the first element of the array. And arrays are always 0 based. And so the subscript operator will always start at 0 for the first element of the array. Of course, you can also use an integer or any integer type. You could use anything character, short, integer, long. We're going to just use an integer because that's traditional. And I'll just give it a value of 3. And if we use that integer to subscript the array, see, we'll get element number 3, which is the fourth element, which will be a number 4. Save that and run it. Of course, if we were to make this a 5, and I'm not going to run that, I have no idea what will happen, and I hate surprises, because that is what's called undefined. There are 5 elements in the array, and 5 would access the 6th element, and so it would be somewhere out here in Netherland, and we don't know what that would be. It could crash our program. It could create a security hole. It could allow people to come in and hijack our computer and send out bazillion pieces of spam with it. So we're not going to do that. But just know that subscripting past the end of an array is what's called undefined behavior. Now, this subscript operator also works on STL containers. We're going to cover STL containers in a later chapter when we talk about the standard template library, but I just want to show you this right now because we actually commonly use an STL container, that is the string type in C++. People think of it as a type. It's really just an STL container, and it is part of the standard template library. So I say string s equals, and just type the word string. And I come in here and I'm going to change this to a character because this is now going to be from S. And if I say S sub 5, now we have something there. That's the 6th element. That'll be the letter G. And I've got my integer 5 and I'm subscripting like this. And I just run it and I should get a letter G. So you can subscript STL containers using the subscript operator, even though they're not arrays. Why does that work? Because the STL containers have overloaded the subscript operator. And so you can do this too as you create your own objects. And we'll get into containers in a later chapter, and we will cover operator overloads in a later chapter, but just know that that's what's happening when you see that common pattern. So the subscript operator is used for indexing arrays and containers, and it's simple to use. You just need to remember that it's 0 based. So let's delete our working file and run clean to get set up for the next lesson.